but we shouldn't have to wonder if the actions that our partner are taking could potentially hurt us. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Amber, and today I want to talk about my ex. No, not this ex, the other one. And listen, before you guys come at me and try to be like,
ooh, you messy, why are you bringing up old stuff? You just trying to get action on your channel?
No, that's literally not what I'm trying to do. This subject has been brought up during quarantine so many times, you guys, it drove me crazy a little bit. And what I realized from it being brought up is that I have some past anger that I need to deal with and some other issues of my character and reputation being tainted from this situation. And at the time, I just dealt with it because, you know, after we broke up, I didn't want to talk about it too much. I didn't want to paint bad light on her because she was still creating and things like that. But after going on a few podcasts and someone personally that I was working with brought this up and me going on a show to talk about it, I felt like I should expand on it. Because this was an experience that I learned from, I grew from, and has made me a better person even though I went through a lot during this time. And so I'm talking to you guys about this because this is my process, my experience, and there's things that I need to get through. So I'm doing with y'all. And at the same time, clear some air. I don't know if y'all care at all, but again, you guys can act like you've never seen any of my videos and just hear a person that went through something, and also being able to let some past go that I think I've been holding on to a little bit, because I don't care about what people think about me. Obviously, like, I do my thing. If you love yourself and you have confidence, like, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But I do get a little bit upset, or I get my feelings hurt when someone thinks something very negative about my character that's not true. That has happened in different situations. And just think about how you might be in a bad mood and someone comes up to you and they are expecting all this from you, and then you're just like, you don't really have it to give that day, and that person can turn around and go to the internet and say you were the worst person ever. Like, shit like that happens. I'm not worried about that. But this was a really big deal in my life when we broke up. Like, the internet was hazing me, they attacked me, and this went on for months. And the other thing is, like, the internet was dragging me, saying that I was at fault for all these reasons of why Kiera and I broke up. I was cheating on her, I was abusive to her, and I was on drugs, and I was like out partying with my friends, and it could have not been so far from the truth, you guys. Like, it was crazy. And I really wanted to scream out and be like, nah, y'all, it's the opposite. But I didn't want to come out like that, and I didn't want anybody to feel a certain way. But listen, don't y'all go try to run to her comments in social media right now and try to DM her or tell her, oh my god, Amber's talking bad about you. But anyways, y'all, I just want to set the record straight, and also this is a part of my growth process of being able to let go of something. So that's why I want to talk about it. Okay, so let's set this up real quick. During quarantine, I had a couple interviews on some lesbian podcasts, as well as I was working on a project where the producer of the show was actually like, yeah, I grew up watching you and I always wondered why y'all broke up. And I definitely thought it was because you were cheating. You definitely came off like a player. And I was like, what? And the lesbian podcast that I did an interview on, as well as another written one, also asked me and were just like, tell the truth. Were you cheating? What really happened? How were you able to move on with Ava so fast? And I was just like, yo, okay, let me tell it. And also, I was on a show recently that you guys will probably see very soon, and this was the subject, having a relationship on the internet and how was the aftermath of that, right? So I want to talk about it with you guys because there was a lot more to it than I let come off. And it's really not easy to have a relationship on the internet, and I did it twice. Let's go back to 2014 first, is when we first started having some issues in our relationship, but I was like, hell no, like, I gotta make this work in any way. We're building momentum, we're like growing as humans, we've been together for a while, like, I gotta figure this out. Because we did have an age gap in between us, so I did know going into it, I did have more relationship experience, but everybody's always hoping that their partner is ready to grow and figure it out. And so we had some ups and downs of like us trying to figure that out. Now, early 2015, we were doing well, and I was like, ooh, I want to do like a really good Valentine's Day this Valentine's, and I put in a lot of effort of trying to do something special, and I broke bread to do it. So I had this planned out, and I told her 2 weeks ahead of time, like, hey, can you get off work early this day? I really want to get there early so that we can go to the room. It's gonna be really nice. So she was supposed to get off on a Friday at like 11 a.m. She worked at a school, so it wasn't that hard. And then we were supposed to be on the road by noon. We were gonna get there. I had like this special dinner planned, and I had this really dope dope room. It was like a newlywed room, okay? So it was really, really bomb. And then I was taking her to see her favorite artist that night because they had a show there. So it was like this big surprise, whatever, whatever. Like I said, I spent bread. So I was really just trying to stay on schedule. And believe me, like every day up until then, I was like, are we gonna be ready by this time? Are we gonna be ready? Because you know, ladies and gents and everybody else in between, when you date a woman, they like to take their time getting dressed and stuff. Like this is the thing. But I happened to be in a relationship with someone that liked to take their time and was always late for stuff. So I was kind of on her a little bit like, we gotta get there. So anyways, that Friday morning while she was at work, I texted her and she was like, I have one errand to run after work, babe, but I'm gonna be there and we're gonna get on the road at the right time. And I was like, yes, great. I was so excited about it, so happy. You guys, I didn't hear from her again until afternoon. It was like 30 minutes after noon and I'm like, hey babe, I'm really not trying to be crazy, but are you almost here so we can get on the road and beat LA traffic? Don't hear from her. And 2 hours go by. It's 3:30 now and I'm at my house pacing, fuming, so mad because I know how long it takes to get to Vegas and I know we're not gonna make our dinner at this point, right? So I'm just like really fuming, but also I'm starting to be like, yo, should I be a little worried? Like it's been hours. I've been calling, I've been texting, I'm even calling her friends, I'm calling her sister, I'm calling my sister, I'm trying to get everybody to figure out where she is. My sister gets a hold of her and my sister calls me and goes, oh yeah, well she's out getting something for you. So I think that's why she's not answering. I'm like, what? Like how did this happen? So all of a sudden I'm supposed to not be that upset because she's getting something for me. But I felt like whatever it is, like maybe I can get it Monday when we get back. Right? We're missing out on stuff I paid for right now. Like we gotta get on schedule. So anyways, my anger is brewing, but I'm trying to just be chill because I'm like, okay, we're missing dinner. We might make the show though. Everything's gonna be okay. Long story short, you guys, she doesn't walk in till 9:15 p.m. Are you guys hearing me? So this for me was really frustrating because this was something that I really was hoping that she would care about and put effort into because I was really trying for us. So she walks in at 9:15 p.m. with an attitude with me. We get into this huge fight to the point where I get really upset and feel like things were physically harming me. So I felt like I needed to get out of that space. So I left. Y'all know I lived in Vegas at one point, so I decided to just go to Vegas that night. I was so upset and I was like, I'm not gonna let my money go to waste, and my best friend lives there, so I'm gonna go live it up with my best friend. So I ended up spending that night by myself. She ended up getting out there the next day. She apologized, we tried to get it together. We enjoyed the time there as much as we could, but fast forward a month later, okay? A month later, we're back in LA, and that Vegas best friend of mine comes to LA for her birthday. And so we're having hella people at our house for her birthday, and we're all about to go to the club. And I remember that weekend was really hard for me. Things were all over the place, and I wasn't in a good space. And at the same time, I had to entertain hella people, but I opted in for this, so whatever. My ex used to tell me that she had no friends at work. And then all of a sudden that day where my best friend's over with all her friends and I'm waiting on my ex to come home so we can like take her to the club and do all these things, she texts me and goes, hey, can I invite my friend from work? I was like, I thought you always tell me you didn't have any friends at work. So I messaged back and I was like, oh babe, I'm so glad that you like made a new friend at work, but do you think that we can invite him a different weekend? There's just like a lot going on here with my friend and her friends. Like we have a lot going on. Do you think that we can just postpone that for a different day? I would love to meet your friend from work though. That's how I left it. That's not bad, right? So I leave the house to go get liquor and I come back and I'm sitting in the car. I see my ex come out of the house. Now we miss each other when she got home. So I see her come out of the house and not see me in the car and then go to a car that's like parked near our parking lot, like by our apartment in the alley. And I see her hug a stud and it was like a really nice, it was too much, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. And a stud, okay? And they just walk in front of me in the house. And I'm like, wait, what just happened here? Who is that? So I get up and I was like, wait, hold up. I go in the house and I see that stud and her guy friend sitting on my couch and all the other friends are like trying to say hi to them and they're not even looking at anybody, right? So I walk up and I was like, hey, what's up? I'm Amber, nice to meet you. And then the stud talking to her homie looks up on the couch like this, what's up? And looks back. Excuse me? Motherfucker, you're in my motherfucking house. You should know who I am and I should know who you are. Okay, that's number one, right? Am I tripping already? I know I'm already getting hyped, but I would thought this already was weird, but then you're not even gonna acknowledge me? So then I was like, okay, cool. So I walk upstairs and I go, hey, who's that person downstairs?
Oh, it's my friend from work.
In my head already, I'm like,
How you not gonna tell me that your friend from work is a stud?
but I didn't do that right away, even though I wanted to. Because y'all, that's a thing, right? If you're gonna make a new friend, sometimes you gotta explain a little bit the dynamic of it so they're comfortable. Like for instance, if I make a new friend that's pretty and she's a femme, I tell my girl about her. I let them meet. I let them understand. You know what I'm saying? So it never looks like something that's not. It goes the same the other way. So I didn't do all that with the stud part. I was just like, oh, I thought we talked about maybe rescheduling with your friend from work because you know we have so many people and there's only so many people I can get in the club. And that was the other thing, is like, I'm paying for this bottle service here. Okay, I'm paying for people to get in the club for my best friend's birthday. We can't add any more people. We already have too many. And to be honest, I'm not sure if I feel comfortable with that person. Like I went down to try to meet them and they were really rude to me. So what's up with that? And she looks like, and she like was stuttering and stuff. And I was just like, that's what made me start feeling like, wait, is something off here? Something weird? And then I started going in my mind like, wait, hold on. You did say you didn't have friends from work. When did y'all become friends to the point of getting each other's numbers, to the point of inviting her to our house, to the point of her not even wanting to acknowledge me? What? So I was like, Kiara, can we just go talk for a second? Because people were getting dressed in our room. Can you explain this dynamic to me? Because this is just making me feel really weird right now. I was like, I don't know if it's because I had a bad day or a bad week or whatever. And she's like,
We just became friends.
all right, when did y'all get each other's number? Because you've never told me about anybody. I don't care about things like this. Like, I trust my boo. It's just, this was a really weird situation for me. She's like,
No, we just got each other's number. Here, look.
she gives me her phone, and I am not one to go through a phone. I do not feel like you need to go through your boo's phone, because I feel like once you feel like you need to go through their phone, it's already over. And when she hands me her phone, it's all the text messages, and my ex never saved anybody's number. So I'm just like, I don't know where it is, and she's just sitting there like looking down or whatever, right? So I'm like, okay. So I click on a text message box, and I see a name of her ex in there. And this is why I told you all that earlier story. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what? She's in talks with her ex? So I happen to just scroll up a little bit and see that they're talking about sex, and the conversation started 20 minutes after I left the house the night before Valentine's Day. That's why I brought it up. So when she was late and coming in the house and had an attitude and came at me like I was wrong, 20 minutes after that, she started texting an ex of hers. And then they got into conversation about why they broke up, and they started talking about sex. Y'all, I'm not that crazy, so I didn't go through that whole conversation, but when I tell y'all, there were scrolling of conversations with the ex that has already been disrespectful. This ex has showed up at her events like graduation. This ex has had friends or sister or people that my ex knew show up with gifts to the house. Don't be bringing that motherfucking shit into my house, right? So these are things that we went through behind the scenes. Now, nothing like this ever happened with me. My phone stayed dry. I never flirted back. I never initiated. I was literally home most of the time because I worked from home, I did hustles from home, and then like literally I was home with my friends all the time. I wasn't doing anything. I was so committed to her, my phone was dry. I was so respectful in all my relationships. I'm getting all frustrated and flustered and stuff. So I didn't even get to the message, the text box with this new friend. I was on the other one. So right away I'm like, oh, I'm looking for these messages, but I see that you're texting your ex. So I'm like, where's this message box with this new person, right? So she's like, and she gets mad at me and wants to snatch her phone because I'm going through it. I'm like, you gave it to me like that. Like, I want to see the dynamic between you and this person. And she's like, no, she's getting mad, and now she's getting like really weird. And then like that whole situation made me feel like something else was going on. That night ended up to be a mess. My friends were there. My friends saw a lot of it, and my friends were really upset and defensive with me over this shadiness, and that stud was getting really weird with my friends and then didn't even say anything to me and left. Looking back at it, you guys, I was in those weird situations often, and the thing is, I just wanted my partner to make me feel safe, to make me feel like I can trust her, because I was never putting her in those situations. And I always just try to make the best of the situations, because I also knew that her personality was a little bit naive. Like, she was so sweet to the point of being a little naive, but at the same time, you do me wrong on something that I planned for us and then text your ex 20 minutes later. Y'all, So after that whole ordeal, like we had a blow up, and then she came to me like, hey, like, should we go to therapy? Like, I really, really want to work on this. Keep in mind that I was hesitant to get back in the relationship from Valentine's Day. So after this happened, I was all the way at arm's length. So in my head, I'm like, I'm willing to try this because we've been together for so long, but if she really doesn't step it up, like, I'm out. And so that whole summer, y'all, she ignored me. I didn't see any effort. There was no effort to make me feel like I can trust her. If anything, she spent so much time away from me. She spent so much time on her phone, and I'm not going through it, of course. It just was really weird. And so that summer I traveled a few times, and when I was gone for a week and didn't even think about her, that's when I realized I'm out of this relationship. Like, I don't feel safe. I don't feel like that person is putting in the same amount of effort as me. I just had to go. So I came back from out of town and I sat down with her and I just looked at her. I'm like, are you even happy? What are we doing? I'm not happy, and this is what I feel. And I was kind of mixed with emotions. Sometimes like my anger would get the best of me, but it's really about my tone. I know my tone can make people feel some way, even though I'm not yelling. I'm still like, yo, this is not okay. I shouldn't have to feel like this. And it's because my emotions are in it. I'm passionate. I really care. But at that time, I stayed calm, and I was really trying to make it clear that I'm done. I did all I could do, and I'm disappointed because I don't feel the same from you. And that's really how we left it. We broke up, and it took a little while because we were trying to figure out who was gonna move out or whatever. By the time she moved out and I had some time to myself, I was in this like rut kind of I'm angry. I put so much effort into it, like 3.5 years of something where someone just could easily just be like, I don't have time for you. I don't have the effort to give you, even though you're giving me all the effort. And I felt like I really tried to make her happy and us a life. So I was kind of frustrated, but a lot of people feel like I moved on too fast, right? And I just have to say that emotionally, I was checked out of the relationship from back February that year. I started dating, I guess, kind of quickly, like I would say as soon as she moved out, which was like around September. And then I kind of was feeling weird about it. I met my other ex in December, and I just felt like it was all the qualities that I felt like I was missing. I really didn't feel like I was gonna find somebody or fall for somebody at all, but people just felt like, oh, there's no way you can be over it. Like, how do you move on so fast? And it was really like, no, y'all, like I was in my head almost like out of it and like single for almost a year. And I know that's really hard for some people to understand, but like I'm telling y'all my truth right now. When I had met my ex, I was like, oh my God, this is wifey. Like, this is the person I'm gonna be with forever. And I truly thought that. And that's the only reason why I was in it so hard, and I wanted to share it with y'all. Because believe me, I did not want to have another relationship on the internet if I was feeling like it was unstable or not legit. And of course, I've learned from that. That's been really hard to kind of go through that, but I literally built my channel about being open and vulnerable, and so that's what it was. I really wanted to share that with you guys because I'm just tired of being the player. I'm tired of people thinking I'm doing people wrong. I'm out here in these streets. People said I abused her and I did drugs, and that was never the case. I would never put my hands on a woman. I literally tried to keep my anger to a minimum so that I can get through to people, because I realized there's a lot of people that just can't do with you getting an attitude in your tone or just getting upset. I don't do that because I know that's not how I communicate, so I don't do anything to others that I wouldn't like done to me. And that's how I feel in relationships. So long story short, I'm not the one that was cheating or doing anything that could look like cheating. So I'm not accusing her either, but that didn't make me feel good. That was weird, and I'm not putting up with it. I don't know what y'all want to call it, but I'm not putting up with that. I want to be with someone that makes me feel good, makes me feel safe, and makes me not have to worry about it. Go hang out with your friend. Go hang out with all the studs you want to. I want us to be so solid that I don't have to worry about any of that. Because especially when you're people that are on the internet, that's stuff that you gotta realize going into a relationship. The other person can't have those insecurities about like, oh, you double tapped her picture. That's just not something that I can deal with in a relationship because I'm a person that puts myself out there, and I know that whoever I'm with might too. So those are qualities that I know that I need in a relationship going forward. I had to tell that story because I'm tired of being the bad guy. So all y'all run and tell that on y'all little lesbian blogs, because I've heard a lot of shit y'all been talking about me on there for years. It's fine though. It's fine. But that shit is not true. I want to say let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but I don't know. Y'all crazy sometimes, but I just want to know if you feel my story and you feel my side, and I want to know if any of you have been through some situations like that, because I know you guys have. I get DMs all the time like, my girlfriend cheated on me, what should I do? I think at the end of the day, we all shouldn't have to feel unsafe or shouldn't have to wonder. I don't want to say worry because I hate that word, but we shouldn't have to wonder if the actions that our partner are taking could potentially hurt us. Anyways, I I love you guys so much. I'll see you soon with more videos. Stay amazing, stay proud, and stay woke. Peace.